Welcome to CBS Easy.
Have you ever wondered how an idea, a piece of wisdom, can survive for centuries? Well, today we're diving into one of life's biggest questions, how we make sense of loss. And you know what's really fascinating? The answer isn't just in philosophy or ancient stories. It's actually hidden in the way we talk, in the very structure of our language. We're going to see how grammar itself is like this invisible thread, connecting us to timeless truths. So yeah, it really all comes down to this one question, doesn't it? How do we make sense of loss? It's something every single one of us has to face at some point. And as we're about to find out, the answers that have been passed down through history are surprisingly diverse and incredibly powerful. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down today. First, we'll look at a famous sermon that really gets to the heart of suffering. Then we'll explore 4 totally different paths to finding peace. After that, we're going to uncover the secret tool that lets these big ideas travel through time. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to make sure that wisdom keeps getting shared. All right, let's dive right into our first section. Our journey begins with the core problem itself, suffering. And there's really no better place to start than with a famous sermon from the Buddha that confronts this thing head on. So what exactly is a sermon? It's not always what you think. Sure, it can be a religious or moral talk, but it can also be something more, a really serious, almost stern piece of advice or a warning. The Buddha's message is definitely a moral teaching, but he delivers it with the weight of an unavoidable, absolute truth. So the sermon itself, it focuses on this grieving mother, but really the lesson is for every single one of us. And the Buddha proposes this pretty radical idea. The path to finding peace doesn't start with fighting your pain. It starts with accepting a truth that is both universal and totally inescapable. But this is where things get really interesting, because acceptance isn't the only answer out there. Now, we're going to explore 4 completely different paths to finding peace, each from a very different voice, offering a totally different kind of comfort. So that first path, the one from the Buddha, is all about what you might call radical acceptance. The message is just crystal clear. If you want true peace from the suffering of loss, you don't fight reality. You have to accept its fundamental nature. Now check this out. Compare that to this second path from Canon Henry Scott Holland. He just completely flips the script on death. It's not this big, scary end. It's more like just slipping into the next room. The comfort here comes from this amazing idea of unbroken continuity. Okay, path number 3 from the Dalai Lama takes a totally different approach. It's all about looking inward. He suggests that the real root of our problems, and, the solution too, is right inside our own minds. You don't find peace by changing the world outside, but by growing compassion and affection within yourself. And this is such a powerful idea, right? A compassionate heart isn't just some nice feel-good thing. The Dalai Lama sees it as a source of real, genuine inner strength. It's what actually reduces fear and opens us up, totally changing how we face every challenge life throws at us. And finally, our 4th path. This one comes from the poet W.B. Yeats, and it finds comfort in faith. It's this beautiful idea that some divine power, a power big enough to create the entire cosmos, still has pity on and cares for even the most tired, humble person, someone just asleep in a chair. The comfort comes from believing you're not going through it all alone. Just look at how different these 4 paths are. You've got the Buddha's call for acceptance given to a grieving mother, then Holland's message of continuity for people who are parting ways. The Dalai Lama focuses on inner compassion for, well, all of us. And Yeats finds comfort in faith for a priest who's just completely worn out. 4 different situations, 4 really profound solutions. Okay, so we have all these incredible, profound ideas about life and loss, but how did they even get to us? How does an idea like this travel from one person to another across hundreds, even thousands of years? Well, that's where the nuts and bolts of language become so important. Well, the secret weapon here, and this might surprise you, is a grammar tool called reported speech. It's basically how we tell stories. Instead of quoting someone exactly, word for word, we report what they said. This is the engine that allows the Buddha's sermon or a poet's words to be shared and retold long after they were first spoken. Here's a super simple way to see it in action. Direct speech is the exact quote, with the quotation marks. Ricky said, "I'm hungry." But when we report it, we weave it into our own sentence. Ricky said that he was hungry. See? The quotes vanish, and the whole perspective shifts a little. So how do we actually do this? Well, there are a few simple rules of thumb.
The pronouns change to fit the new perspective, so I becomes he. The verb tense usually takes one step back in time, so am becomes was. And any words about time or place also shift to show that we're talking about something that already happened. All right, final section. This is where we tie it all together. Because this grammar stuff, it's not just some dry technical rule from a textbook. It's actually the bridge that allows these powerful ideas to cross from one generation to the next. And think about this for a second. When we report what someone said, we're not just stuck with the word said. We have this entire toolkit of verbs. Did the person explain something, or warn someone, or suggest an idea, or even exclaim it? Each one of those words adds a whole new layer of meaning, helping us capture the original speaker's tone and what they really meant.
And this is why it all matters. This is the real aha moment. The grammar of reported speech is the very engine that keeps these powerful ideas about life, loss, and peace alive. It's what lets us hear what the Buddha taught, what a poet felt, or what a spiritual leader explained, and then gives us the power to pass that wisdom on to someone else.
So, I want to leave you with this question. We've just explored 4 incredible paths to peace: acceptance, continuity, inner compassion, and faith. We've even seen how the simple act of reporting speech keeps these ideas going. So, of all those things we talked about, what's the one piece of wisdom that really stuck with you? The one you'd want to pass on? And more importantly, why that one?
Thank you for watching with us. See you next time.